I think it's about time I start to recap series by series from game 139 to 162. It starts back at the Washington Nationals series, and yeah, I have not been doing a good job of recapping Marlins games anymore. It's mainly because of a couple of reasons. One, and I admitted this too, I doubted them. I doubted them again, and I was very stupid for doing that. And I have not watched many of these games. I have not, if I'm being honest with you. From 139 to 162, we got swept by the Washington Nationals. We lost 5-2 in 139, and 140 we lost 10-5 against the Nationals. The pitching was not that good. And then following the series, we play against the Phillies, and the games that I have not watched, they were losing. And then for whatever reason, when I watch some of the games, they have been winning. That's kind of a reverse 180. The last game of the series, they actually won the game 5-4. I mean, I want to talk Tyler Phillips. This might be the best waiver pickup we've ever picked up from the Phillies, and we have to thank the Phillies for that, because he had that mean look every time he comes out of the bullpen to the mound since the Yankees series. Like, Tyler Phillips is just like it's just one of those ordinary relief pitchers. He's different. He is different since the Yankees series. Slapping himself in the face, getting all pumped up, fired up. And those were his exact words, "I hate batters." Something like that. But we won the finale against the Phillies. And back to the Washington series, ain't doing so hot either. It's just not surprising. It's just surprising that we have not doing well against the Washington Nationals as we should. We fall to the first two games, and in the second two games, we have won 8-3 and 5-0. 5-0. But the series that really took me over the top, the Detroit series, what should have been a clinic for the Tigers. The Marlins won the series against the Marlins ends up winning the series against the Detroit Tigers, including a win against Tarek Skubal, one of the best pitchers in the league. We forced him out after 4 innings, three to first of innings. Alcantara was a beast in that game, and the Marlins won that game 8-2, the first game, and then they won again against the Tigers in 11 innings. In 11 innings, this was an amazing. Oh my God, I love these prospects, man. Peter Bendix is a masterclass at this. Yes, I stand on the point that Peter Bendix is a masterclass when it comes to farm systems. But Troy Johnson has been the minor league assistant for the Marlins for so long, and he finally got an opportunity to do something incredible. He put up a walk-off 2-run home run against the Detroit Tigers in the 11th inning. We were down by a point. We were down 4-3 in the 11th. Herberto Hernandez was able to ground it out in the field of short. I lost Weimer to score, and Troy Johnson blasts the home run to right center field for a 6-4 walk-off victory. And guess who got the win? Josh Simpson got the win at this one. This is pretty spectacular. And they were wearing this outfit too. This was a City Connect uniform. The attendance was pretty good, 21,000. And then they fall to the Tigers in the series finale 2-0. Then they go to Colorado. And this is the part where I'm gonna be the jerk for this one. Hey, not so fun when you're being swept at home, right? Remember that Colorado series at home? Well, we should have never been swept at home. The Marlins paid them back with vengeance and not only won the series, but swept the series against the Rockies in Denver, Colorado, which was oh my goodness, it felt so good. Close games, but it felt so good. Especially the last one. See, the last game of the series, they were up, I believe it was, as far as I remember, it was something along the lines of 9-3. And the Rockies were coming back. But the pitching did the job, and thankfully they did. Oh, what the hell? What just happened? I hate this freaking thing. There we go, I'm back. Then I go to Arlington, Texas, to play against the Texas Rangers. And they swept the Texas Rangers. And one of them was in 12 innings. The first game. The Marlins came back. It was a Javier Sanoja home run to left after Jung was an infield single. That game ends up going to extras. We should have won this in the regulation, but who cares at this point? Otto Lopez hits a double, which will allow Alex Ramirez to score from second, which was awesome. And X single to right. We're in line to win the game. Problem is Tellez. Tellez is a home run hitter, and he hits it to right. And guess who was up there as well? The former Marlin Jake Berger. And I'm still upset that he's still part of the Texas Rangers team. I love Jake Berger. He was hitting against the Marlins in this series. Maybe I think got a hit or two. But it sucks to see him in a Texas uniform. In the 12th inning, though, skip ahead because no runs were scored in the 11th inning. Shockingly, right? Shockingly so. I feel like that could have been a chance for Texas to do that as well. Marcy hits a double to right, which was a needed double from Marcy. Marcy just continues to pummel. Makes it 4-3 Marlins. Awesome. And a new catcher that was brought up because they're going to switch with the catcher's role with Liam Hicks. And this guy, Navarrete, hits a double to left, and he's got to feel really awesome for himself. Hits a double to left. That wanted to be a game-winning run. And then Dane Myers reached on infield single to short, which was awesome, to make it 6-3 Marlins. Jake Berger did hit the sacrifice fly, which allowed Duran to score, which would be your final score, 6-4 Marlins. And George Soriano got a win, which is shocking. I'm still this day no idea why he is part of the Marlins team. They got the tight win against the Rangers on Saturday, and they got a pretty good win, a good offensive game against the Rangers on Sunday, which is incredible. 4-2 victory with 11 hits in that one, and they swept the Texas Rangers in that series. Awesome. And they continued the win streak against the Phillies, winning that game against the Phillies 6-5 in 11. Coming back from 3-0 down. And guess who was part of the lineup? Remember Griffin Conine? He suffered a dislocated shoulder they said this was a season-ending injury. He was ahead of schedule. The same place he got hurt is the same place he came back to finish what he started. And he crushed a home run to right. Yes, this is 381, but it's still a dang ball. We were down 3-0 from Kyle Schwarber and Kip home run. But Conine started the rally. Liam Hickson hits a single to center, and it was a throwing error by Bader. And in the top of the 9th inning, Herberto Hernandez, it's just an absolute hit to left to make it a tie game 3-3. Weather delay happens, and we go to the 10th. Marcy grounded the third, which would be... Actually, no, first off, Liam Hicks hits a single to right, which will allow Conine to score, make it 4-3, right? Then Marcy then grounded the fielder's choice. They would make it 5-3 Marlins. Awesome, right? Well, the Phillies would tie it up pretty quickly. Ball with the single, which will allow Stott to score. And then Castellanos with the single to left to tie it out. Go freaking figure, right? And X hits a sacrifice fly to right, and we were expecting the worst in the bottom of the 11th inning. can Josh Simpson even get the situation going? He grounded out three batters, both of which came to second. And Wilson's ground out to second, which was an incredible play, right? Dude, take a look at Marchand, if I said it correctly. Not Marchand, no way. Take a look at Marchand, I think it's how you say it, if I forgot how to pronounce it. He ran at third, and then Stott grounded to Simpson himself, and Simpson gets a win. And the Marlins at that point were on a 7-game winning streak. Unfortunately, that came to a crashing halt. We were still talking playoffs. A lot of things need to happen for the Marlins, right? A lot of things needed to happen for the Marlins. Unfortunately, the reality hit. On Wednesday, it was a really bad performance. That was the same night where I went to Queens, by the way. I went to Citi Field to see Inter Miami play against NYCFC. The run scored. By the way, Sandy Alcantara was meant to go to pitch in this game. Wackerman hits a single to left. That would be the Marlins' only run, and homers just keep coming. They just keep coming. Every run the Phillies score was a home run. It was a home run derby for the Philadelphia Phillies, and that is just unacceptable. I don't care if the Phillies were a good team. I just don't care they're a good team. You cannot give up this many home runs at all. All the runs were scored by a homer, whether it's to center, to left, right center, or left center, even left. All of which were scored by a freaking home run, and that is not acceptable in my opinion. 11-1 was a final score in this one. 8 home runs given up by the Marlins in that game. Horrible. And then the offense were ghosted in the final game, and that eliminates the Marlins from playoff contention. The only run scored was in the first inning, and they did not score at all. That is bad. That is embarrassing, to say the least. It really is. And then the final series is against the Mets. When the Marlins have an opportunity to do something that they have done previous times, and that's to eliminate the Mets from going to the playoffs. It started off very good. It started off with a very good start. 2 runs were scored in the first inning by the Mets. It was a Lindor home run to right center, and Pete Alonso hits a double to left, which will allow Juan Soto to score. That's 2-0 Mets already. Then, skip ahead to the 5th inning. 6 runs scored in the 5th inning. Griffin Conine goes on base. Troy Johnson also goes on base. Herberto Hernandez hits it to right, which is very close, but it remains a fair ball, and he hits an RBI triple, 2-run RBI triple for Herberto Hernandez, and the game is tied 2-2. Marcy then grounded out to second, which would give an opportunity for Hernandez to score. Exton hits a double after Ramirez hits a shot, and Connor Norby just destroys that baseball to left to make it a 6-2 ball game for the Marlins. Tyler Phillips saves the game, and with this win for the Marlins, Cincinnati's winning. Cincinnati has passed the Mets because the Reds have a tiebreaker. The next game, the Mets shut out the Marlins at home. We don't talk about this game. We really shouldn't talk about this game, right? It's mainly Pete Alonso in the first part of the game. Jack McNeil double, Lindor single. Nothing was going right for the Marlins with this one. Yuri Perez continues his struggles against the Mets. By the way, how about Alcantara's final start? Might be his final start with the team. I don't know. But the Mets 5-0 victory over the Marlins. But the thing is, the Reds still won that game against the Brewers. And finally, we come to Game 162. the final game of the year for the Marlins. Final time, final game. Could this be the opportunity to kick the Mets out of the playoff contention? Edward Cabrera's dealing, and let me just say this, thank God Cabrera's okay. Because initially the elbow injury, we're thinking Tommy John. Thank goodness it didn't have to come down to it. Fourth inning was all it took, folks. All it took. This is seemingly a bullpen game for the Mets, and why would you have a bullpen game? Why not have a starter? They don't have a starter, do they? Fourth inning was all it took. Was all it took for the Marlins to win the game, seemingly. There were a couple of chances there and there, but fourth inning, Norby hits single to left, and then, they made a pitching change. By the way, their starting pitcher in that game, I believe, was Manea. I believe that's their starting pitcher. And then it became a bullpen game, which, why? This is the Mets mindset. Bullpen game, beat the Marlins, you're in. But the Marlins became their bitches these past recent years. Just saying. In the fourth inning, Norby hits a single to left. Stranek comes in, and then Wagman hits a double to center field to get the lead 1-0 for the Fish. Right? Awesome stuff. And Hernandez flied out to the right. Navarrete with the double to center to make it 2-0 Miami, which is awesome. Then comes in Tyler Rogers, and Sonoha reached on a triple, which was Navarrete scoring from RBI triple in. Sonoha with a celly. What a celly he had. And X hits a single to center, continues to rally to make it 4-0 Miami. That would be your final score. Final score of that game was 4-0. But in the top of the fifth inning, right, when things look so bad, okay, Mauricio worked a walk after Alvarez struck out looking. Taylor struck out swinging. Lindor walked and Soto walked. Bases loaded with 2 outs. Pete Alonso with a showering line out to the left. But Javier Sonoha, some reason, I can't explain it, was able to track that baseball and caught it. What a catch by Javier Sonoha, man. I don't know how he did it. I just don't know how he did it, man. I just don't. What a player, man. And then the bullpen comes out for the Marlins. Mets with some chances, Lindor with some situations, but they keep getting big outs. They keep getting big outs against the Mets. Kyle Seeloff is loving it. All of us were loving it. Soto's popping up. Bottom of the 7th inning, we didn't score. Top of the 8th inning, we really got to see the anger and blood-boiling frustration from the Mets, because they are not getting the offense in, because our pitching is excellent. Alvarez struck out swinging, which was ball 4, but he struck on that pitch, breaks his bat in half. And just like that, we were 3 outs away of eliminating the Mets. It didn't matter if the Reds were going to lose against the Brewers. The Mets, if they lose, that's it. They're done. Bottom of the 8th inning, we had a chance to score, but we didn't get anything going. Top of the 9th inning, Tyler Phillips, and what a fitting way to do it, man. Mauricio worked the walk. By the way, I think in this game, Phillips did slap himself. Mauricio worked the walk. Cedric Mullins flat out to right. And then Lindor grounded the double play, and that's it. That is it. That's all the games that I have recapped in a shorter span. The Marlins eliminated the Mets, again, for the 3rd time in franchise history, by the way. 2007 and 2008, when the Mets were, I think, were still playing at the stadium called Shea Stadium. And now they did it in Miami. They did that in Miami, which was so cool, man. Oh, so cool. This game sold out. Now, granted, yes, there were a lot of Mets fans in that stadium, but there were also a lot of Marlins fans too. It was getting loud. They were getting loud. I think the fan base is finally starting to believe in Peter Bendix in this direction of the plan that's going to be taking place in the future. Build a farm system where they are capable of having some really good prospects to come up in the future, and then you go in for the effort of the major league signing. Can you do both? Is it possible to do both at this point? Is this finally time for Sherman to sell, to finally buy and spend the money, invest into the major league product finally? I'm very excited for this baseball team for the future. I'm very excited. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm very excited for what the Marlins to come in the future. I don't know what to say. The Marlins eliminated the Mets. Took a photo out of the front of the dugout. The Mets fans in the Mets broadcasting booth was complaining that we acting like this is our World Series. Maybe if you put a little more efforts into the quote little World Series, maybe you would not have been in the discussion of saying that this is our World Series. Maybe you could have won the World Series. Who knows? But anyway, man, the Marlins won the series against the Mets. Fantastic, man. What a fun season this has become. Now, earlier this year, I did a reaction video with Bruce Sherman, and he had this quote. He had this to say. He said, "I think we're going to win more games than you think." I think I said in the video, I think we're going to, I do believe we're going to win a little bit more games, but not by much. I doubted him. And I feel ashamed that I doubted him. I feel ashamed because Bruce was right. We have won more games than we thought. He was right, and we were wrong. And we should admit that we were wrong. So, I salute. I salute. I still think you should invest. I still think he should invest more into the major league, into this team. Major league product, right? Because you could do something with the minor league product, but do something in a major league product too, please. That's all we're hoping. More importantly, can we re-sign some folks? Can we sign extensions? Can we spend money on the current talent that we should build around, like Kyle Stowers, like Santa contract? Is it possible? Are we still going to trade him in the offseason to get back some products? I'm very curious to see what it will be like in the offseason. This is going to be a very interesting winter for the Marlins. Very interesting winter for the Miami Marlins. I will report what is to come, man. What is to come. And all in the meanwhile, we could talk Panthers hockey and Heat basketball in the process as well. But anyway, man, there you go. That's it. I'm going to do a review some point this week. A season review for the Miami Marlins at some point this week. I'm loving this jersey. Anyway, guys, that's good for this one. If you like this video, hit the like button for more content. And I'll see you guys next time for more videos. Good night.